text me yesterday if is it possible to talk about the Crawford fight for February or meet to yesterday here in Los Angeles with him.
Canelo versus Crawford is that one fight that fans have always wanted to see, but boxing politics has had its play in making it happen.
An ability to cut off the ring is more, and he's bigger and stronger, and I think, you know, there's a risk there for Crawford, but this is why you tune in, right? Crawford keeps doing the amazing.
However, the fight was assured by His Excellency Turki Al Sheikh. Face-off, Canelo shared some details that make this fight even more worth the wait.
Yo, Turk, tell him we going for Canelo next.
Yes. Let's go. Canelo, come on.
The thing is, while Canelo is about to fight Crawford, he also has a fight that he's going after, and it also seems he won't be getting the fight too. Let's catch you up.
The Canelo fight, you know, realistically left your mind once he said he's not interested, or you're still pursuing it?
Not at all. You know, I think business talks. You know, with the right.
Terence Crawford is 36 years old, and he's all about facing the biggest names. Now, he doesn't want small fights anymore. He wants battles that matter, fights that people will talk about for years. That's why his eyes are on Saul Canelo Alvarez. To Crawford, this is the kind of fight that could change everything, and Crawford knows it. Crawford already made history. He became the first male fighter in the four-belt era to be unbeaten in 2 weight divisions. That's something no one else has done. One of his latest fights was a complete demolition of Errol Spence Jr., another champion. Crawford controlled him from the first round and finished him off in the 9th. One of those moments where everyone knew he was special.
How can you, a man coming from 147, I know he's a great man. Crawford is a great man and a great warrior. But you come from 147 to put on a better fight than I mean, I don't even know what that means. I don't know if that means that Crawford is so great and he can do that, or that means that Charlo set the bar so damn low that anybody could.
Now Crawford wants to face Canelo, who's also an undisputed winner. But there's one big catch. Canelo fights 3 weight classes above Crawford's last fight. That's a huge jump. Most people wouldn't even think about trying something like that, but Crawford isn't most people. He believes he can do it. Canelo hasn't been so sure for a long time. He brushed off the idea of fighting Crawford. He said there wasn't much to gain from it. If he won, people would say Crawford was too small. If he lost, it would be a huge blow to his image. What's the point? Canelo used to say, but now something has changed.
He's bringing up Canelo. I think that's weird, you know, because you'd have to gain like, what, 20 pounds?
Yeah.
But they say that's the money fight. That's the mega fight. That's the money fight. That's the only thing that makes sense for Terence Crawford.
Well, you know what I mean? Catchweight. We can do something at a catchweight.
What weight you think?
Probably like 160 or something.
So you said you said 154 is the highest you want to go.
Yeah, 158.
At a recent No Golf, No Life event, Canelo spoke about Crawford in a different way. He called Crawford a good fighter and said he's open to the fight if the money is right. If it makes sense and makes money, Canelo said he'll fight anyone at this point in his career. Why not? This is where Saudi Arabia comes in. Turki Al Sheikh is making big moves in the boxing game. He's already spent huge amounts of money bringing big fights to Saudi Arabia, and he's ready to do it again. His top goal is a fight between Canelo and Crawford. The kind of money he's offering could make this fight a reality.
Turki Al Sheikh say that he sent you an offer possibly to face Crawford for coming up here. Is that true, or what happened with that?
No, I don't have any offers. And look, I'm 100% focused on this fight, and then.
But why is Canelo suddenly interested? Well, Crawford has been making moves. After beating Spence, he moved up to super welterweight and faced Israel Madoff. He won that fight too, becoming the WBA world champion. In the process, Crawford showed he could handle bigger opponents, but more than that, he displayed a new style. He wasn't moving around the ring as much. He was more aggressive, more willing to stand and trade shots, and that caught Canelo's attention in an interview with Sway's Universe. Canelo admitted he noticed something in Crawford's last fight. Canelo said, "If the money is right, I'm ready. He's a great fighter, but for me and my weight class, it's an easy fight. Easy money. I saw in his last fight that he doesn't move as much, so I'm interested."
What do you think about Terence Crawford calling out Canelo?
You know, I don't like that fight.
Why not?
I don't like that fight. It's just
too much weight.
This comment fired up a lot of talk. Is Canelo underestimating Crawford, or is he right to feel confident? Canelo has faced bigger guys, smaller guys, older guys, and younger guys. He's used to reacting to different opponents, but Crawford is different. He's not just a talented fighter, he's a fighter who knows how to change. Against Spence, he was nearly untouchable. Against Madrimov, he was aggressive and strong. Crawford can do it all, and that makes him scary.
That Crawford could beat him, because Crawford is a big 147 fighter and is strong as well, which a lot of people don't give him the credit for.
Crawford isn't backing down either. To fight Canelo, he'd have to move up another 14 lb to 168. That's a lot of weight, especially for someone who started as a lightweight. But Crawford seems ready for the task. He's not afraid of the size difference. For him, this is about showing that skill can beat size. Canelo, however, still has his doubts. Last year, he told Boxing AZ Teka that fighting Crawford might not be worth it. They'll attack me no matter. What? Canelo said if I win, they'll say Crawford was too small. If I lose, it'll be even worse. It's a lose-lose situation.
If Crawford and Canelo were to come to fruition, you see that being competitive still, even with the 21-pound difference, Jim?
If I'm Crawford, I don't want to have to go up to 168 pounds to get the fight. I want to somehow gull Canelo into thinking that it's okay to fight him at, best of all possible worlds.
But Canelo's tune has changed, and it's clear why. The money Saudi Arabia is giving is massive paydays. And that kind of cash can make anyone reconsider. Plus, a fight with Crawford isn't just about money. It's about legacy. Beating Crawford would add another big name to Canelo's resume. Losing to Crawford would be a shock, but it would also prove he's willing to take risks. Fans are split. Some think Canelo's power and size would be too much for Crawford. Others believe Crawford's speed, skill, and intelligence could win the day. It's the kind of discussion that makes fights like this so exciting. Despite everyone's view and uncertainty, there's another side to this story. Some people think Canelo has been dodging Crawford. After all, Canelo dismissed the idea of fighting Crawford for years. Was it really because of the size difference? Or was it because he saw something in Crawford that scared him? Some fans think Canelo's recent interest in the fight is less about money and more about trying to silence the doubters.
The power. More by no power? Yeah. We're not a roll with punches. We're not to take power. You take your power away from me. How you take a power puncher? Take the power away from a puncher. Let's know. No, I ain't gonna tell you. You should know.
Slide off, take something off the shot here and there.
That's
Crawford, on the other hand, seems confident. He's chasing greatness, and he doesn't care who stands in his way. This isn't about money for him. It's about showing he's the best, no matter the odds. That kind of attitude is what makes Crawford so special. As of now, nothing is set in stone. Canelo is still weighing his choices. He could meet David Benavidez, the IBF super middleweight world champion. That would be a big fight too, but the talk around Crawford versus Canelo is hard to ignore with Turki Alalshik ready to make it happen. It feels like this fight is closer than ever.
You wonder how effective Crawford can be if he keeps moving up in weight. You're starting to see that, now he's not quite as strong. The knockout streak is over, but he can box really, really well. But Madrimov...
David Benavidez, the unbeaten super middleweight powerhouse, is no stranger to the dynamics of the 168-pound class. His view of a potential fight between Terence Crawford and Saul Canelo Alvarez carries weight, given his deep understanding of the challenges fighters face at this level. In his conversation with Shaziad Benavidez, he made it clear that while he respects Crawford's skills, the odds in his view are stacked strongly against him. And a bout with Canelo, we're looking for the big fight. Crawford-Canelo, now we're planning for this. You want to do everything. Crawford's view comes from his last few fights and the significant size difference between him and Canelo. Crawford dominated the welterweight division for years and recently ventured into super welterweight territory, defeating Israel Madoff to claim the WBA title, while Crawford's skill and adaptability were obvious. Benavidez noticed something important in that fight. Crawford's power didn't translate as well at 154 lbs as it did at 147. I'm not saying he had problems, but he looked like he didn't have the power he had at 147. Benz explained this observation is important because power can be a game changer, especially against someone like Canelo, who has a granite chin and thrives in exchanges.
Canelo versus Crawford, the biggest fight in the game.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, like when you looking at Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis, this is the next thing beyond.
Benavidez also pointed out the daunting task Crawford faces in moving up 2 additional weight classes to 168 lbs. It's not just about putting on the weight, it's about carrying that weight successfully against bigger, stronger fighters who are used to competing at that level. Canelo has been fighting at super middleweight for years and has faced some of the division's toughest opponents. Ben Aids thinks that Crawford, despite his technical brilliance, would be at a disadvantage in terms of both size and experience if Crawford is going against Canelo in his first fight at 168. He has a lot of disadvantages against him. Benavidez.
With Crawford going up, I believe he can put a beating on anybody 154, 160.
But not 68.
Nah, Benavidez is.
Oh, Canelo. Yeah.
Oh, Canelo. I think he's a smart fighter. He doesn't rely on his power. Crawford ain't up.
Canelo's track record at super middleweight underscores Benz's argument that he has not only unified the division, but has constantly shown that he can adapt to different styles, whether he's facing aggressive punchers or slick boxers. His recent victory over Edgar Berlanga Jr. further showed his ability to control the pace of a fight and nullify his opponent's strengths. For Crawford, stepping into the ring with someone like Canelo would mean fighting a fighter who is not only naturally bigger but also incredibly seasoned in the art of handling fighters of all styles. Benz's perspective also highlights a psychological part of the matchup. Canelo's confidence in his size and power at 168 lbs could give him an edge, while Crawford would have to deal with the mental and physical adjustment of fighting at a weight he's never fought in before.
Crawford throwing his hat in to want to fight Canelo at 168.
I mean, everybody wants to fight Canelo. It's the money fight. You know what I mean? I think even Inoue would come up to fight Canelo. Canelo wanted to fight him. I mean, I don't want to see Crawford to fight Canelo, to be honest with you. But it would be. I'm not saying it wouldn't be a great fight. It would be a great fight. But I feel like if I deserve my opportunity.
The mental game in boxing is often as important as the physical one, and Canelo's comfort in his weight class could be a critical factor. Moreover, Benz's analysis is based in his own experiences and observations as a fighter in the same division. He has sparred and fought against super middleweights who bring a unique mix of power and durability. This first-hand knowledge gives him a nuanced view of the challenges Crawford would face. Benz has repeatedly stressed that fighters at 168 pounds are not just bigger, they are accustomed to absorbing and delivering punches with a level of force that can be overwhelming for someone coming up from a lighter division.
Yeah, the size is an issue. Canelo is way bigger. This fight's at 54. He's got 2 weight classes to broach in order to get to 168 to fight Canelo. But as you said, Champ, Canelo has become increasingly inactive in fights. He throws less and less punches.
Benavidez also touched on the stylistic dynamics of a possible Crawford-Canelo clash, while Crawford is known for his ability to adjust and outthink his opponents. Benavidez thinks that Canelo's experience and ring intelligence will neutralize many of Crawford's strengths. Canelo has faced top technicians before, and his ability to cut off the ring and impose his will has been a hallmark of his success against Crawford. Canelo's ability to apply pressure and capitalize on his side's advantages could make it difficult for Crawford to perform his game plan. Another critical point made by Benavidez is the toll that weight jumps can take on a fighter's body. Moving up to 168 lbs would require Crawford to gain muscle and keep his speed and stamina, his strengths.
I mean, I can't really say nothing about that. If that's what he wants to do, then that's what he's going to do. Canelo is a man that he does anything he wants to do. I don't think really what people say affects him. But I feel like the people, they want to see David Benavidez versus Canelo Alvarez. It's the biggest fight to make happen, and I feel like I'm the biggest threat.
Benavidez pointed out that this transition is not as easy as it seems. Fighters who bulk up often lose some of the qualities that made them successful in lower weight classes against a fighter like Canelo, who is adept at exploiting even the smallest weaknesses. Any decrease in speed or endurance could be costly. What makes Benavidez's analysis particularly intriguing is his respect for Crawford's skills. He recognized that Crawford is one of the most technically gifted fighters he's ever seen. This is not a critique of Crawford's abilities, but rather an honest assessment of the challenges he would face in this particular matchup. Crawford is one of the best technical fighters I've ever seen, Benavidez said, emphasizing that his prediction is not about doubting Crawford's ability, but about understanding the realities of the situation. Benz's prediction also shows his understanding of Canelo's thinking.
I don't really like to bash somebody because at the end of the day, I give respect to Canelo. He's a great fighter.
Yeah.
He's one of the best Mexican fighters of all time.
But wanting to fight him, David, is not bashing him.
Yeah.
That's not bashing him.
But that's what I'm saying. They spin the narrative on Instagram. Right. If I say something, they say this or that. But I only want what I earned.
Right.
And I'm entitled.
Views add depth to the ongoing debate about a potential Crawford's-Canelo showdown. His respect for both fighters and his detailed analysis of the matchup make his opinion one of the most insightful in the boxing world, while fans continue to speculate about the result. Benz's view underscores the complexities of this highly anticipated clash. Canelo Alvarez, the face of modern boxing, has never shied away from big fights, and his most recent comments only add fuel to the fire of speculation surrounding his future. Speaking to DAZN, Canelo told the one man he dreams of stepping into the ring with again, Floyd Mayweather.
Good friend, my brother, Terence Crawford, wants to fight Canelo.
Yeah.
Just from your expert opinion, knowing how Canelo fights, what he's like in the ring, I know you haven't been in the ring with Terence, but what do you think of that fight?
I truly believe, that, anything can happen in boxing, you know what I'm saying? And Terence Crawford is a legend. He's great. He's a great fighter. The only thing I see that I favor Canelo is that, is his weight.
Yeah.
And that he's more.
But as much as he'd love to avenge his single professional loss, even the Mexican superstar admits the fight is little more than a fantasy. Obviously, we know it's not going to happen, he said, but yes, I would. Love to get rid of that little scar. It's an idea that makes sense. The loss to Mayweather in 2013 still looms over Canelo's career, not as a blemish, but as a steady reminder of how far he's come since that fateful night in Las Vegas. At just 23 years old, Canelo was naive and outclassed by Mayweather's ring IQ. The unanimous decision in Floyd's favor was more of a master class than a contest, and for a perfectionist like Canelo, that kind of loss is hard to let go.
But these same writers out here, they praise Canelo. He can pick and choose who he want to fight. And I'm going to tell y'all the truth about Canelo. Motherfucker easy, man.
Now, over a decade later, Canelo is a vastly different boxer. He's stronger, smarter, and probably the most complete boxer in the sport today. A rematch against Mayweather would be a chance to rewrite history, a chance to show that the kid who stepped into the ring in 2013 is unrecognizable compared to the man he's become. Fans, too, would relish the chance to see whether Canelo could succeed, where Manny Pacquiao and so many others failed. Mayweather, on the other hand, seems happy in retirement since hanging up his gloves with a perfect 50 record in 2017. He's dabbled in exhibitions, but nothing near a real return to competitive boxing. Despite Mayweather's recent comments comparing his fight with Canelo to his bout with Pacquiao, there's little indication he's interested in putting his undefeated reputation on the line again. But what makes Canelo's dream even more intriguing is the way it intersects with his other goals. While the Mayweather rematch might be out of reach, a battle with Terence Crawford is not only a pound-for-pound great in his own right, he has been circling Canelo's orbit for the past year. If it happens, the fight would pit two of the best boxers in this generation against each other, albeit under circumstances that greatly favor the Mexican champion. Crawford's climb to super middleweight to face Canelo would be nothing short of epic. It's a move that even Canelo, despite his confidence, would have to take seriously. Interestingly, the Crawford fight could also serve as a stepping stone toward a more bold goal, luring Mayweather out of retirement. While the possibility of Floyd stepping back into the ring seems slim, a dominant victory over Crawford could be the kind of statement that piques his interest. Mayweather has always been drawn to the spotlight, and the narrative of unfinished business with Canelo could prove too tempting to refuse, and Canelo knows how to sell it by taking on Crawford first. He's setting the stage for a dramatic build-up to a potential Mayweather rematch. It's a genius move. Beat one of the best fighters living today, then call out the man who defeated you in your prime. Even if Mayweather continues to stay retired, the mere idea of such a fight would electrify the boxing world. Canelo's ambition doesn't stop at Crawford or even Mayweather. He's hinted at wanting to clean out the super middleweight division completely, leaving no room for doubt about who reigns supreme at 168 lbs. That's why the latest Developments with David Benavidez moving up to 175 are so interesting. Benavidez has long been considered one of the few fighters capable of pushing Canelo to his limits, but with the Mexican monster apparently out of the picture, the road is clear for Canelo to focus on Crawford and perhaps even Floyd. Canelo's desire to fight Crawford despite the weight disparity shows his respect for the Nebraska native's skills. He knows that Crawford's technical ability and adaptability make him a unique challenge, even if his physical advantages lean heavily in Canelo's favor. It's a fight that would test both guys, albeit in very different ways. For Crawford, it's about showing he can hang with the big boys at 168. For Canelo, it's about cementing his place as the king of boxing. Well, what's your take on the Canelo versus Crawford fight? Share your ideas below, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. For more dates, see you in the next one.